start to track it down, and if we start to calculate all the things together, we can make the same chart, but not only with the hours which were lost, but also with the money which were not earned by the company. And if we will say that in this case, the output on the average is 200 per kilo, and the throughput is 150 per kilo, then the company lost 180,000 euros, like didn't earn 180,000 euros. It's like 2 months, one of the machines were down, 240 tons of product were not supplied, and 180,000 euros in our case were not received by the company. And these are not just the income, these are above the material costs, above the electricity and packaging costs. And when you watch this chart, like the first one was just amusing. Wow, yeah, we have hours here, hours there, but you cannot manage everything. And it's always like, what will you focus? And at that moment, when company management and production team realizes that this is a real damage and this is a really bad situation, they start to treat downtime reasons and they start to solve downtime problems in a completely different way. But before we will just jump into this solving problems, for example, in this case, we clearly see that the mold revision, just to maybe get back a little bit, I want to discuss this mold revision because this is something which really happens so many times. How the companies are buying the molds usually. They're sending the samples to the supplier, then supplier sends the drawings, you sign the drawings, they build the mold, they send it to you, and then it turns out that it's not what you really wanted. Maybe something was outside of the drawing because, for example, you never see on the product drawing material distribution on the sidewalls, or maybe something was forgotten, or maybe there was another problem. And what happens next? You send back the mold if supplier is somewhere near to you, or you order extra components, sometimes with extra payment because you signed the drawings, we did it according to the drawings. And maybe it takes 1 week, 2 weeks, or maybe it takes a couple of months. But what nobody is thinking, in many cases, when they buy the mold, how many hours, how many shifts, how many days they will be spent for updating the mold, revising the mold, and changing the components. So this is the biggest issue in this case, but case to case might be something else and depends really on other things. So we have here operators' mistakes, which cost 15,000 euros of not received AV. And we have the mold revision, which gave us a damage of 63,000 euro. But instead of just going there and solving the biggest problem, let's take a look and let's think how much money would cost a solution for this. So, for example, the mold changes which we had there, unplanned mold changes, longer time mold changes. Mold changes is about the process adjustment and how many of these unplanned mold changes you have and how fast you change the mold. Same, the poor late maintenance. These are things which can be done without investing money. But the operator's mistakes, usually it means that they have to be trained. And either it's inviting a trainer from outside, like a process engineer and an expert, or it's creating internal trainership and program of increasing the skills of operators. So it will cost something. For example, in this case, it's 5,000 euro investment. The mold revision, for sure, we cannot do anything with the mold which was already there, but for future, we can agree on that before we receive the mold maker must test it. And it can be 10,000 euro. Half of that will be spent to pay the mold maker for testing, and half of that will be sending their material, going there with our team and checking everything before we receive the mold. And the component failure, which was a big one there, around 40 something thousand euros, it means that we have to buy the components which are not so easy to get. Nowadays, then the supply chains are broken. It really takes sometimes a couple of months to get some components like drives from your suppliers. What I know from a couple of machine makers, they have to order components from B&R or from Bosch, from Siemens, in 5-6 months in advance to receive them on time. So a solution here would be creating a stock of components and capturing more money. So if we have this damage inflicted and the cost of the solution from the lowest cost to the highest cost, what we can do now, we can put them on this matrix. And now we have a clear understanding And this is the moment where downtime management really starts, because we see exactly what should be done on the first thing, on a second thing, what should be not done at all, because in this case, spending 5,000 and organizing like operators training may be something which is not needed by the company at that moment, because this is like the smallest amount of damage. Case to case, things are changing. Maybe in your case, it is different. If we watch now this matrix, what we see now, that the mold changes are inflicting lots of damage, and they cost us nothing. So it's somewhere in the between of top priority and process improvement, and correlate maintenance somewhere here. And this is something we should focus on. It will cost us almost nothing, and it will give company additional 57,000 of euros of added value. And then the mold revision and the component failure, mold revision costs cheaper than creating a stock of components, and it prevents the more damage will be prevented by this. So this is exactly how that works. And for example, one of our customers, they are using Microsoft Power BI for analysis. So this they have every operation is tracked down in the system, and the operators, they have the barcodes for them, for the mold, for the machine, for the material, and every time machine stops, they have to put the reason there. And every time something happens, system calculates how many hours we were down, what was the product on this machine at this moment, what was the time which machine was not working, what was the product weight which was not produced, and what was the money which were not earned in that moment. And this is like a big adjustment if you don't have anything, but a small adjustment if you already have a system which tracks this data. And just by adding this there and creating a report based on these two things, like damage inflicted and a cost of the solution, you are getting a clear roadmap what to focus on and what to solve on. And you don't spend time on things which take lots of time to solve, lots of money to solve, but not affecting your business how you would like to. Thank you for watching our video. Ask your questions in the comments or contact us with the email. And you can check the links below to our LinkedIn, to our website. And for sure, you can check our playlists with other videos about thermoforming industry, thermoforming projects, project economy, and many other things we are shooting the videos about. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel, and let's stay in touch.